Do not associate partners with Allah, for this is a severe oppression. What is an oppression of? Am I oppressing God? Yes, it's his right to be worshipped. You gave that right to an idol. Remember, Islam came on the backdrop of idolatry. So idolatry is not just that it's multiple gods. Because I always tell students that, all right, what happens if a Hindu comes and says, all right, I got rid of all the gods and I only worship one God, this idol right here. We have a store here called Patidar. You go in there for the highly selective desi things like Wag Bakri tea. They also sell sukari dates, the only people in the area. But you go at the end of the register and they're selling many different gods, $9.99 a pop. Okay? And the latest one I saw, and I couldn't believe I had to take a picture of it. The rat god. What? Yeah, I'm not kidding you. The rat god. Now, I have some Hindu friends, or I would say associates, that I don't want to offend. So I'm not offending you by this. Because I know that most American Hindus, there's no way you're actually gonna, even if this was like for fun, right? You know, like even if the whole thing is for fun, right? Why would you put a rat statue? And if you believe it's your God, why would you make it out of plastic and sell it for $9.99? I'm telling you, if it's your God, even if it's a symbol of your God. You know, the Umar ibn Khattab, once a man made a mushaf that was small. He had some Quran written on a very small piece of paper. Umar said, La. عظم كتاب الله ومن يعظم شعائر الله. Write it big. The Quran should be big. We should not have these little barakah masahif. I don't know what to do with this now. How do I recycle this? Okay. So it doesn't make any sense. So let's say a Hindu comes and says, all right, I have one idol. Can I come into the interfaith monotheistic meetings? No, you can't. You're not a monotheist. Why? Because you got the mono part right, but not the theist part. God is transcendent beyond the creation. He is not a created thing. That's the intellect tells you that. The intellect tells you if your God is a thing in the world, he could not have created the world. Because that thing in the world is subject to being composed of matter, is subject to limitations, is subject to gravity, is subject to created things. So it could not have created the whole thing if the rules of creation apply to it. If your God was a really big guy, but that guy, he has limits. He has subject to gravity, he's subject to time, he's subject to place, he's subject to location. If he's subject to those things, how did he create them? If he's subject to these laws of physics, how did he create those laws then? So the creator it's inconceivable, it's contradictory to deem the creator to be subjected to the laws of creation. Can he subject himself? It's inconceivable too. Can he not be himself then? That's what you're asking. Can God not be God? And that would be a lowering of his rank. It's like, can Michael Jordan lose to a high school basketball team? He can't do something. I discovered what he can't do. No, that you've lowered him in that case. He's transcendent beyond creation and all of its limitations. So from both ways, from just the rational way and the moral way. The rational route is to say you're asking if God cannot be God anymore. By saying can he stop being transcendent and become limited. Secondly, the moral way, we say you're asking for him to lower himself. That's not an impossibility in the sense of you say, a negative impossible. Oh, he can't do it. He's limited. That's not a limitation, I should say. It's not a limitation when the transcendent never lowers himself to being limited. You see, this is the Tawheed 101. We call this the mono part, the one God part is Tawheed. But the theist part, to believe in the creator of the universe, not an idol, that's the theist part. We call that Tanzih. Tawheed is not the only doctrine. When we say Tawheed, it includes Tanzih. Tanzih is this is why what the religion came for, to negate idolatry in its numbers and its paganism, the number of gods and the nature of the God itself. An intellect would never accept such a God that itself is subjected to the thing that it's purportedly created. How? Just logically speaking. If he's subjected to it, how did he create it in the first place? Hence, the creator is transcendent, and he never enters his creation or comes in the physical form. And that's what the Dajjal does. He comes in a physical form and he tells people, I'm your God.